welcome to the JfG Podcast. It's episode 253. My name's Alex. I'm joined, as ever, by my good friend Ash, who is here with me. And by here with me, I mean hundreds of miles away. How are you doing, buddy?
As always, buddy. Hundreds of miles away. We've only ever done the podcast together like twice, or maybe thrice. Who knows these?
It's hard to say,
isn't it? And I mean, I'm not going to come and visit you anytime soon because that would be insane.
No, I can't even visit people down the road, so I'm certainly not going to come and visit you.
No, why would you? I'm sorry.
No.
Like, if anyone's no one's watching this live right now, but if they do fancy watching this live, unbelievable jealousy is coming over me right now with your glorious hair, buddy.
Thank you very much, buddy. This is one of mine.
Yeah, that's
so.
It's a beautiful. It suits you well. It's very, European chic, I would say.
Thank you very much. I was going for low-level Serbian drug dealer.
Nice.
That's what I was kind of aiming.
Okay, yeah,
aiming for.
I can see it. Yeah, I mean, I've dealt with a few of those, so I know what they look like.
Yeah. Crossed with a sort of Gary Oldman Fifth Element type jobby. That was the aim. But yeah, no, needs must really. Indeed. Because some people get their haircut every 3 weeks. Some people get their haircut every 6 weeks. Some people
I do mine every 2. But that's because I buzz it all off, and as soon as it grows like half a centimetre, I'm like, ugh, just disgusted.
Well, I tend to get my hair cut once every sort of 6 months.
Nice.
I have it cut quite short,
and then let it grow.
I let it grow for ages.
Yeah.
And then I get it cut again 6 months later.
Makes sense.
On this occasion, my last haircut was November. And now it's June.
It's a good stint.
So I had to take matters into my own hands, buddy, and picked up a nice set of clippers on Amazon. I'm sure a lot of people are in the same boat.
I
Maybe
think
not with the 7.5 months since their haircut, but maybe 2 or 3. So, no, it's fine. It's all right. I don't go outside anyway, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like.
Only the entire world sees you because everyone watches this podcast.
On hundreds of thousands of people watching on the stream,
on YouTube and Twitch,
drinking it in.
That's where you can find us. We're about the place.
Absolutely right.
So anything, mate?
Anything? I don't think so. Anything.
No.
I've just been here. I've been working in the bedroom and then moving into the living room in the evenings.
Yeah.
Sometimes I walk around the park. It's just over there.
That one over there, out the window.
Yeah. Sometimes I walk around that for a bit. Yeah. Nope, that's me, buddy. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't do anything over the weekend at all. Nope. There's nothing there.
I have something to say.
Shit.
I have a show to recommend on Netflix.
Oh, go on then. Oh yeah, you told me. Yeah.
It's called Dark.
Go on.
It's German.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
You can watch it dubbed.
Give me it.
You can watch it dubbed, but I wouldn't. First thing you should do if you fire up Dark is switch it to German language and English subtitles. Not English subtitles brackets closed captions, because then it will also subtitle stuff like loud thud.
Yeah. Which
I find distracting because I can hear that thud.
Yeah.
That thud is a universal.
Bird tweeting.
I can understand that bird in any language. Yeah. But yeah, it's a German crime thing crossed with sci-fi. I can't really say anything about it without spoiling it. Other than I don't remember enjoying a show so much for several years.
Oh, nice.
It's wonderfully, wonderfully cool. Mega interesting, cool writing, cool acting. The story is batshit mental, and it's very hard to keep track of what's going on. Really hard to keep track of even who is who. because it spans various times. And so you've basically got like 3 or 4, sometimes 5, maybe, different people playing one character at various ages. And there's something about the fact that they're speaking in German, it just makes it harder. It shouldn't, because they still look like different people.
Yeah.
But there's something about the fact that you can't really use their voice to associate them with in the same way that you can when you understand what they're saying. There's just something weird there, which makes it very taxing to follow. But of course, you're already having to read it because it's subtitled, so you have to concentrate.
Otherwise, you're fucked.
Yeah, you pick up your phone to have a little look at something, and you aren't watching that show anymore, not even passively, because unless you've learned German in the interim, you don't know what's going on.
No.
You have no idea.
Not a clue.
I think people know how subtitles work anyway.
They've been around for a while.
This show is fucking fantastic. We've binged through season 1. We're on season 2, and season 3 comes out on the 27th of June. So it's a good time to get involved with this thing. Glorious fucking TV show keeping us going at the moment. So I just thought I'd mention it.
Nice, buddy. So, we're not going to talk about the state of the world right now because that's not really what we do.
No, obviously there's things still happening. Pandemic, lockdown slowly easing. At the same time, mass protests, which is fair enough, except it's a pandemic, so I don't really know how that's going to go. I guess we'll see. But either way, those are the things that are happening. And in the meantime, I'm still in my little bubble, working out my bedroom, buddy, and waiting to see what happens next.
Yeah.
Yeah, and drinking beer, of course. Oh. And I'm currently drinking a rather nice Brewdog Hazy Jane.
Nice,
which I'm quite enjoying it. But don't worry, buddy, I haven't got delusions of grandeur because my next can is a Heineken.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you drinking?
I'm on the Buckhorn Stateside IPA. There you go. It's one of Aldi's prestigious beers, I'd say. It's 5.5.
Not to be confused with Buckhorn.
No,
of course,
Buckhorn is different.
Something else.
But then, obviously after that, I'm on the cheapest of cheap, Rheinbacher, buddy, which is probably the tastiest cheap beer in the world. I'm going to say, known fact.
Very nice too.
Yeah.
I got a couple of kegs of Ghost Ship in my latest Tesco home delivery, buddy, and I'm looking forward to tucking into those for game night.
Nice.
It's going to be pretty tasty.
Yeah, I think I had like 6 of these Buckhorns on Friday. I was shit-faced by about 9:30. It wasn't a good look for me. But hey-ho, I had fun.
Yeah, these things
happen. You know, it is what it is. So, video games, that's what we're here to talk about. If you didn't know, this week's topic, video games.
It is. What have you been playing?
I've been playing some games, mate. Firstly, want to shout out, that's just a terrible, I just want to talk about it, really. BioShock Remastered. I played original BioShock and slated it, well, not really, but, said it was old and shit, which it is. It's old and shitty, but it's a great game. The remastered version, much better. I was playing it on the PS4 Pro. It's recently had a patch because, obviously they've got that running on the Switch, and it's amazing that they've managed to get that running on the Switch.
Can't believe it.
I mean, if you've seen any footage of it running on the Switch, I mean, you could say barely.
Yes.
That would be my statement for that game.
Yeah, running very much would be if you're lucky.
Yeah. But I believe that this runs at 2K upscale to 4 at 60 frames per second on the PS4 Pro, and it's bloody lovely. I'm just making my way through it. It's scaring the shit out of me again, but I'm being a big boy in my big boy pants and just cracking on.
Nice.
It's a bit creepy, isn't it? That game, not gonna lie.
It certainly does sort of. It's got like a mood of constant low-level dread at all times.
I always remember the bit where when I originally played it, I was like, nope, I'm not playing that anymore is the bit where you go into a room, there's a spotlight on the floor, and then it goes dark, and then loads of freaky nurses come at you from the dark. And that was the point I originally turned it off. I've done well now. I've got past that. Killed the first boss or whatever, and making my way through it. It's good fun. I like it. Very good game.
Nice, man. Yeah.
Other than that, I have also been playing Tony Hawk's Underground 2 or Thug 2. I'm hankering for skateboarding games. Skater XL seems to be coming out fairly soon. Possibly, I don't know. I know on Steam they've got their 1.0 release in a few weeks or something like that, I think, or next month. And it's meant to be released on PS4 and Xbox One at the same time, so I might have to pick that up. I don't know. It might be a game where I wait to see what the content's like, because I don't think there's going to be a lot of content in there. I mean, their last promo or whatever video they put out was all the fact that they've got loads of brands in there, which is nice because authenticity, but also I'd rather have another place to skate if there's only like one or two places to skate. Anyway, so Tony Hawk's Underground 2, buddy. It looks like a pile of shite because it's really old.
I had this on PC.
Yeah.
I had it on double DVD.
There you
back
go.
In the day.
That's when you know it was good. It was
all right. It's got like Steve-O and nonsense in it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got some ball bag characters in there.
Yeah.
It got a bit silly. It didn't.
Yeah.
I think that's what annoyed me with the Tony Hawk series. It started off. Obviously, it's a very arcadey game. It's not simulation at all. It's fucking mental. But as time went on, that kind of escalated into God knows how many trick combos and stuff you can do. And yeah, it was fun, but I just want to, pop a kickflip into like a nose slide with a shove it out. I'm happy with that because that's like realistic, or not really for me, but I could give it a go in real life, but I'd fail several million times. But that's what I want out of a skating game. I want it to be more grounded than, God knows, I was flying all over the place in this fucking thing. It was mental. I ended up watching like a speed run of it. I think someone completed the entire game in like 8 minutes. I was like, cool, well done. But like some of the stuff he was doing was just like ridiculous. I was like, sad face. But one thing about it, obviously, I had it on PC and downloaded a like 100% unlock all the levels and all the characters because I was like, I'm not gonna fucking unlock all these at a time. I just want to get in there and like scoot about and have a bit of fun,
try it all out. Yeah, absolutely.
But they had loads of the like original levels from like Pro Skater 2 and stuff like that. So I was like, oh wow, this is really nice and nostalgic. But like after about 5 minutes on each level, I was like, this is wank. It's just.
So I take it you're not mega interested in the 1 and 2 remaster that's on the way.
God, no way in hell. I mean, like it's great, I guess, but it's not. Also because fuck that game. Like it's wank. That's why it's dead now, because a better skateboarding game came out of Skate. Even back in the day,
called Skate.
Yeah. Even back in the day, you had Thrasher, Skate, and Destroy. And that was more simulation, and like it was really hard to get into that game. But when you did, holy shit, it was so rewarded doing like the simplest of tricks. You'd be like, oh my god, so I've just landed like a kickflip off this ramp, and you're like, fucking yeah. Whereas with, I don't know, there's no. I want to say enjoyment, but like
it's like the arcade and sim racing thing. That's the difference we're talking about here. Is one of them you can just chuck it about, and have a laugh, and you don't feel like you've really accomplished anything because it's just a button press.
Yeah, exactly.
And another one is in the spirit of which is in the spirit of skateboarding. You have to have precision and balance and timing and stuff, and that's what Skate did so well. That's why it was such a breath of fresh air when it came out.
Yeah, Skater XL is kind of using the two thumbsticks flickety-trickety stuff when it comes out. So, yeah, it looks promising, I must say. So I am looking forward to that. I've also been playing a lot of F1 2019 career mode. Managed to get through like 5 races, I think, this week, which, with practicing and qualifying and stuff like that, I'm getting more and more into sim racing, as you are, and some of our other friends are as well. It seems to be, I'm really enjoying it. Career mode, not great. Not great at all. I mean, it's really there's a lot of annoying stuff there, and I'm hoping that with the new game coming this year, with all of its management stuff, it's going to be a bit more in depth, a little bit more rewarding, and the fact that you can make your own team and so on. I'm hoping that doesn't just sort of wear off really quickly. Yeah, but it is what it is, isn't it? Really? Yeah, like you say, it is what it is. The ridiculous cutscenes where you're talking to the reporter are awful because it's the exact same thing every single time. Like, you're not
a good game engine for people, is it?
No, it's
really
not.
Isn't.
But you're not even like in a different garage or anywhere. It's the same set every time. You're like, okay, that for me that was weird. And then the like commentary concatenation, I think that's the word you need to use, where it links words together because they've spliced them all up. I should know, that's what I did at uni. It's just fucking terrible. Like, when it's going down the grid before the game, because I was like, you know what, actually I'm gonna watch all like the bits going into the races, because like, it's nice to get all the graphics of the track and make it feel like I'm watching the F1. I think I just miss watching the F1 so much.
Yeah. Not long now.
No, I know.
Weeks.
Not long now, buddy. Yeah. And so I was watching on the intros, and it's just like the volumes are all over the place. Like the emphasis is wrong. Like when they're saying "and," it doesn't match up with the next word. It's just poorly done.
I find the Ian Davidson stuff really annoying as well, because he speaks so well on Sky, and they've just fallen foul of this thing. I know it's difficult because, it's easy to say just use some of the existing stuff, but often it's licensed by a particular TV network or whatever. But I just think, like, it's never a good idea to take someone who literally never reads a script or teleprompt and get them to do that. There's no need. Andy Davison could just chat shit about Formula One off the cuff, and it would be infinitely better than what they've got on there, where he's literally stood in a booth reading off of a fucking tablet. Yeah. And it sounds wooden. That's not his...
He's not a voice actor. He's not a voice actor.
No, but when you sign up to be a voice actor, when you're hired to be a voice actor, then, I can't not criticise that. It's poor, and it's annoying, because he's really knowledgeable, and I like hearing him chatting away.
Definitely.
On like the television. But
it's entertaining.
It's difficult. You can't keep it fresh when it's on a video game very easily. But
it's just the simple stuff. Like it's not even. I guess it is how he's phrased like the people's names, but it's just badly put together. Like, they could have done a better job. It's just fucking shit. Like, they've done a cracking job with a lot of the audio in that game. Like, the racing sounds are amazing. But I don't know. Obviously, like,
it's got blind spots. They always leave stuff. I mean, we've had 3 or 4 years now where every time one of the AI cars pits, it briefly ghosts onto the start-finish line. Like, it glitches onto the start-finish line. It's see-through. You can't hit it or anything, but it appears for half a second.
Yeah.
And it's been doing that for 3 years, 3 games. Like, I can't fathom that. I don't understand how you keep releasing a game year on year or year, and you never... And all I can think is that they haven't got time. Because of the cycle as it is, they haven't got time to fix the previous game before putting out the new one. And it uses the same engine. They're just souping up the same game, really, each time.
Yeah.
And you end up with bugs for like 3 or 4 years. That's madness. You know, every time you go into the Formula One multiplayer, you go into unranked and hit square to make a lobby.
Yeah.
It as soon as that menu opens, when you hit square, it closes again. And you have to spam it like 3 or 4 times to get it to stay there. It's been doing that for at least 3 games. The last 3 games in a row.
Well,
why would you not fix that?
When's the new one come out in a few weeks or so?
The new one's out in like 3-4 weeks' time, something like that.
Well,
and I wouldn't be remotely surprised if all those things are still there.
Yeah, has to be there probably. We'll have
They've added split
see.
screen, which I can't imagine anyone wanted.
No,
like the dialogue, the interviews. No one cared about that.
No,
that's not something that's important. If you go on Formula One forums,
why is
no one
there
cares
like
about
a
that.
10-second countdown? You got 4 options, each one like it's not like a quick answer. I struggle to talk even right now, but reading is just like the worst thing in the world for me. And I'm there trying to read these fucking sentences in 10 seconds and then make a decision. I'm like, just give me 20.
Well,
give me 30.
They're trying to put you under pressure, like The Walking Dead, but it doesn't matter what you say. It makes no difference at all.
Ball bags.
It's very strange.
Anyway, it's a great game though.
It's a waste of time. The actual driving is wonderful, but the AI is an absolute fucking joke online as well. That's the other problem.
Yeah, of course so.
I spent most of Monday night just being batted off the track by AI
did,
that behaved as though I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
They're literally behaving like I'm not there. I'm up the inside of them. I've got half of my car in front of theirs, and they just turn into the apex and poleaxe me.
You're not there.
And it's really poor. And again, that's netcode, and it's been like that for years, and it'll be like it again this year.
Yep.
It'll be exactly the same.
Imagine if they fixed it, though.
They won't.
No, they won't. No.
They don't need to.
No.
No one's asked them anything negative. In the lead up to the release of this video game, they did an open Q&A session with YouTubers and journalists, and no one asked them anything negative. No one said, this is broken, are you going to fix this?
Yeah.
People have been asking you to fix this for a while. Do you think that the netcode maybe could do with some work? Have you considered doing this? There's nothing. It was just like, we're so excited. What are you doing here? And it's like, yeah, because all the people that are asking the questions have been given a free code of the game early to bump up their YouTube.
Get those views up. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, that's the world we live in.
I love it.
Yeah, there we go.
Big fan.
Get him.
So finally, buddy, last week I mentioned that obviously JJ popped some free games in the Discord. That's right, buddies. If you want some free games, get in the Discord. It's about the place on the website, on the Twitch channel and things like that, or whatever. And I picked up Jurassic Park Evolution, buddy, which is a Jurassic Park theme park game. What are they called?
Yeah.
Tycoon game, I guess. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, theme park Tycoon, wasn't it, or something? Yeah. So yeah, I've been making my Jurassic Park. First thing, load it up. You got all like the Universal music and stuff playing. I'm like, wow, okay, this looks legit. And then it's got old Jeff Goldblum doing the voice of Jeff Goldblum, obviously.
Yep.
He's in there talking shit. Is it Chris Pratt? I can't. Is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah. No, he's not in it. So they got some other cunt to do his voice. But I think a fair few of the other characters are there for the voice. But I mean, it's got the fucking Jurassic Park theme tune. So mate, what more do you want? I load it up. And I'm like. Ah, magical! Because it's a great tune.
We watched the latest one of those this week.
Oh God, I don't think I've even seen that.
It's on
Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah, I think it's Netflix.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's not that bad.
It's a film. It's fine.
It's a film. Yeah. It's not that bad. But yeah, I've played a little bit of this as well, buddy, because it was on Game Pass.
Oh, was it?
Not this week. I haven't.
No.
I mean, I'm vaguely familiar with it.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive how in depth it is, and the engine's pretty robust in the way that you can kind of go down to ground level and stuff, isn't it? It's quite cool.
So I played about 4 hours. I got through the first island, and I've got my teeth sunk into the second one, trying to make some money. But I'm very skint at the moment. It seems like I'm being bombarded by storms, which kind of cuts out my power, and then all shit breaks loose because, there's no power. And these dinosaurs can break free. But yeah, the initial introduction, I loaded it up and I was like, oh, I really wanted to play it, but I've played a lot of like top-down clicky games recently, being Civ and Gears Tactics, and I'm like, am I a bit burnt out with these games? The answer is no, which is good. I can carry on. So I got through like that annoying bit where it's like you're trying to work out what the fuck does what, and I started getting there. Like I created some dinosaurs, I found some new fossils, because what you do, you send your little team of expeditioners, that's the word I'm using, off to go expeditioning. And they find fossils, you bring them back, you extract the DNA, or you can sell ones that you don't want, so you can kind of top up your money. All the while doing this, you've got people coming in, and also you've got to worry about security. So you've got three main like mission people. You got science woman, you got entertainment dude, and you've got security man. Official titles, TM.
That's them. Yep.
And they all give you different contracts. Like, they don't seem to be regarding that. Like, okay, so there's challenges and then there's missions. Challenges are small little things that you can try and top up your money. The missions are like the big long ones where there's tiers to them or whatever. The challenges are just generic things. Like, one was like, get a picture of 2 dinosaurs. I'm like, how do I get a picture? How do I take pictures? So I teleport down into the Ranger wagon and scooting about in the Ranger wagon, having a lovely time pulling handbrake turns in front of all these fucking people. And then I go up to a gate. The gate opens. I'm in there with the fucking dinosaurs. I'm like, what? So obviously, show them my skills, pull some handbrake turns in front of them. They didn't like that.
They're going to love that.
They didn't like that. They charged me. And yeah, that went well. But I got a picture of them while they were charging at me. So it was an action shot. It was good.
Yep. Macro mode, lovely.
Yeah, so fucked off out of there. One of the missions from the security guard is like, yeah, upgrade all this shit so we're good and we can like shoot them. I'm like, cool, yeah, just safety. And he's like, right, open a gate and leave it open. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, leave it open and then get all the people into the shelter. You have like a shelter. You put shelters up and you have to open them, and then an alarm goes off and all your visitors like run in and get in there. And I was like, right, I'm opening the carnivore fucking thing and let's see some people get eaten. This is going to be great. So yeah, one of them moses out, just starts eating the people. I'm like, this can't be good for business. But he's like, no,
that's not going to go down well. It's on brand with Jurassic Park, though, as a franchise.
Yeah, totally. I got a big old tick in that box, and then sent out Ranger Dave. He fucking took it down. Then found out that I had to get like air helicopters in to ship, like come in and pick them up and put them down. I was like, this game's just got way better. It's just, it's brilliant. And then earlier today when I was playing it, it was like. I was in Mobile, Ranger Dave, me and Ranger Dave, scooting about. I was taking some pictures again. I had to get dinosaurs fighting this time. That took a while. But then I pressed, I can't remember, I think it was F or R or something on the keyboard. Got a rifle out. I was like, what? And it's like, I can either shoot medicine or flares. I was like, flares it is. Woo! Just shooting flares at people. Obviously taking it super seriously at certain points, like doing my business, making the park look really nice. It's good. Yeah, obviously you got your standard stuff you got to worry about. Your power, people needing a piss, usual things in these type of games. They're all there.
Those are the two main ones.
Yeah, that's it really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I think it was last week I mentioned I tried to play whatever the City Skylines was it or something. I couldn't get on with it. I was just like, no, fuck this. But I'm enjoying this a lot more. One, I've never played it before. Obviously, that's a bonus. But two, also, it's, I have moments of playing it super serious and taking it and planning out my park, and it's nice. It's got the whole thing where you can curve the paths and make it look all nice and pretty, and yeah, it's really well made. And it looks really nice as well. It's a good game. There's lots of different like research trees and stuff that you can go down, and then you can start making your dinosaurs more, attractive for people to look and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. There seems to be a hell of a lot of features here. It's good fun. Yeah, definitely good.
Yeah, it feels like it's kind of as in depth as you want it to be.
Yeah,
really,
definitely.
Isn't it? Like, and that's really cool that they've considered that, and they've tried to make it for sort of multiple types of person rather than just sort of going, this is fucking in depth and po-faced and boring.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. But yeah, it's a cool game. I'm just going through the campaign because I thought about just having open park or going buck wild, but I was like, no. To be honest, I like to have goals, buddy. Like even with like what's the theme hospital one called? The new one, 2 Point Hospital. There you go. Like with that, I like it. Like right, there's your goals. Meet those goals. I love it. Yeah, it's good. It's cool. Good game.
The missus has been playing 2 Point Hospital quite a lot recently.
Is she? Nice.
She's developed an intense hatred for it because the further you get into it and the bigger everything gets, the more just awful it is. Like, the more stressful it is to manage.
Oh yeah, you got to manage. And it's not even manage. You got to micromanage everything. And that's one of my big.
It doesn't really automate properly.
No,
that game.
One of my big bugs with these games is micromanaging everything, like the price of the t-shirts and the price of the drinks. I'm like, I don't, and this game does have that, so I don't know if that's going to be a thing that gets to in like 10-20 hours in or whatever. Possibly can do, but I want that mundane stuff. I want to put something down and be like, right, that's going to generate money. Sweet, I'm done. I haven't got to worry about that.
Yeah,
it's just gonna. That's bringing me money in. I can develop other stuff. Yeah. It's the minutiae of the bollocks that I don't like.
Yeah.
If that's
totally,
right.
I'm totally with you. Bang on.
Yeah. But
cool, man.
Yeah, man. That's, sorry, I'm pouring a beer. That's Jurassic Park Evolution after 4 hours of playing it. It's good. I like it.
Nice, man. And yeah, as I said, that is on Game Pass for any Xbox players out there as well who want to give that a burn. It's on there.
So that's me for games this week, buddy. What about you?
So I'm in kind of a slight holding pattern, waiting for The Last of Us at this point. So I don't really want to get my teeth into something too long.
I need to know when we get that game, because obviously we are getting that game. Are you gonna complete it in one weekend?
I suppose that depends how long the game is. Because I'd imagine that the weekend that comes out, we will spend the weekend playing that game.
Yeah, I thought you would.
So if it's only like 20 hours long, we'll probably complete it in a weekend. I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to eke it out a little bit longer than that, but certainly excited for it and been waiting for quite some time. And yeah, as such, haven't really necessarily wanted to get stuck into anything massive in the last week or two. So I've been kind of revisiting a little bit of old stuff. I've finally given up on Prey completely, by the way. I uninstalled it. I won't try it and get into that game again. That's it for me now. I just don't like it. Don't like it. I tried my best. I gave it a real fair chance. But there's just too much annoying about that. And if you want to know what, then just go back a pod and you'll hear my thoughts on that one. I won't repeat myself. So Call of Duty World War II, similarly, it's just bollocks. The single player is just bollocks, that game. Who cares? Like, it's fucking shit. It's got nothing going for it whatsoever. It's a rehashing of other video games that have done done a far better job of it than Sledgehammer have here, and probably not even that much fault of their own, because I would imagine that they would have been spending most of their time on the multiplayer aspects of this video game, because that's what makes EA the money. So who can say? Activision, rather. I got my evil corporations mixed up briefly there, but it's just dull. It's just go here, defend this area, go here, defend this area. Now you're on a turret, now you're on a cannon. Who can be bothered? So that's gone as well. I have downloaded and installed Star Wars Battlefront 2 because I'd quite like to play some of the single player on that at least.
What, you don't
know if I want to play.
Yeah, mate. We're going to shoot some dudes.
I don't like shooting dudes.
It's a stern no. I
probably won't do that. But
I didn't even know that had a single player campaign.
It does.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to look like. Yeah, probably. I know when it first came out, it barely worked. It was so buggy, but that was quite a while ago now. So in the meantime, I have been playing 3 games this week, mainly, alongside my standard football and racing. The first one being Firewatch, which I know is one of your favourite games ever.
Definitely is.
And the missus hasn't really seen this game before. I played it solo, I think, ages ago. I thought it'd be up her street, and it absolutely is. It's
a great game.
It's a wonderful walking simulator, this. One of the best.
Great. The story is just fantastic. I love it.
A lovely story, a lovely mood. Really interesting, quite exciting in places I forgot, like some of the twists and turns.
Dramatic.
This game still doesn't run very well on the PS4.
On the base PS4. Runs okay on the Pro.
It just doesn't run very well. It has the look of a game engine that shouldn't be struggling, in my opinion. I firmly believe that this is we're hovering around optimization here rather than the system being overwhelmed by the graphics, because it's really pretty, this game, but it's pretty low poly, low texture in terms of the fact that it's got that sort of slight cell shadery, that slight sort of cartooniness about it.
You think, why wouldn't they just tweak the settings a little bit more to make it run better? I don't know. That's just a layman person saying. You could lower the resolution, you could lower the texture detail a tiny bit. Also, I've had issues here. I've had bugs, which I find a bit weird. Firstly, I never got the trophy for adopting the tortoise, or the turtle rather. You pick him up. Oh, Turt Reynolds.
Yeah. Well, I definitely did that in my first playthrough in 2016. And I remember the trophy never popping. And this time it did pop when I did it.
Hey.
I've had 2 times in a row where it's fired up onto a day and the game has never focused. So when you first wake up, everything's a little bit blurry. While he's sort of adjusting to the light, it just remains that way, and I had to close the game and open it again.
That's weird
to get rid of that. So this thing's still a bit ropey, but
they're not going to patch it, mate. They're busy working on Half-Life 3 now.
Yeah, it is a frustrating thing that happened there. Not to say, Campo Santo, they decided to accept that
obviously.
deal.
Yeah, of course.
But if you're not familiar with the story, Campo Santo, they were a startup studio featuring sort of industry veterans.
Made a great
BioShock and Half-Life, and made a wonderful game in Firewatch that was critically acclaimed, and then were working on a game called In the Land of the Gods or Valley of Gods, something like that. Yeah. It was a sort of Egyptian 40s kind of Indiana Jones-esque kind of adventure of some sort. We never really saw sort of early pre-render
trailer,
footage,
didn't we?
Yeah. Then they were bought by Valve out of the blue. which everyone thought was a bit weird because Valve doesn't make games anymore. Of course, now they, I suppose, are making games again with Half-Life Alyx and various other projects kind of in the wind. But yeah, and then that project that Campo Santo was working on was cancelled. Their team was redistributed to help with Half-Life
spread
Alyx
out all over the place, wasn't it?
And now that's it. Like, it's pretty depressing from a consumer standpoint when you're waiting for a studio that you've kind of fallen in love with their work, and then they're just not. That's it. But anyway,
these things happen.
Que sera, and so on. Firewatch is great. You can get it cheap at the moment. It's a wonderful game. I highly recommend it, despite the slight performance issues, which, it's not a Twitch shooter, so it doesn't really take away from everything. Obviously the focus thing, more of an issue, but
being able to see.
It's kind of important. Yeah, it hurts your eyes after a while if you're trying to play through a constant, just weird, hazy mess. It doesn't really work. Yeah. It's next, I saw that there was a Xbox backwards compatibility sale on last week, and there were some pretty decent deals there, but one of the deals that I saw was Far Cry Classic, which is the original remastered for 360, and
it's good.
It was 71p on the Xbox store, and I thought, expensive. You know what? I'm going to buy that, and I'm going to play that. And it's going to be awful, because you'll remember when I made my first proper gaming PC from scratch with my GeForce 6800 GT in it, buddy.
Beast.
Back in the day. Half-Life 2 and Far Cry, the original, were those games that came out in 2004 when I built that system.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought it looked amazing, Far Cry.
It did.
At the time. And it doesn't look amazing now, but it
even
did look
with the
better
360
on my PC.
Version.
I swear it looked better on my old PC than it does on this 360 version. But
see, I thought that about Tony Hawk Underground. I was like, I swear this game used to look amazing, but it just looks like dog shit.
Dangerous going back to some of the games that you used to love. I think it's
the fact that we're not using CRT monitors anymore, buddy.
I think that'll be it.
We need that. If we had them, everything would just look amazing.
Gibbons. Yeah. Far Cry Classic. It is a really good game. And it still plays really nice. And it is pretty satisfying. The gunplay's decent. The movement's decent. It's pretty modern in the way that it runs. It was very futuristic at the time. Runs on the Cry engine. At the time, that was casually just crippling all computers it faced. That was kind of its thing, certainly with Crysis especially. But a really robust engine, kind of the beginning of all of the Far Cry stuff. The one thing that this really served to highlight is how little Far Cry has moved forward since 2004. 16 years of Far Cry games.
That's it.
It's the same fucking game.
Cool.
Yes, it has towers you can climb, Far Cry 1. You're on an island and there's a maniac.
Another one.
There's monsters of some description, like mutated monkeys, so it's got that weird supernaturally horror element to it. The driving mechanics are fucking
terrible.
Town, just like and first person only, just like you'd expect. But all in all, it's a really colourful, enjoyable experive I played way more than I was expecting. I figured half hour's worth of play would get my 70p's worth, but I've played 2 or 3 hours of this, and I'm really enjoying myself. He
loves it.
It's really fun. Yeah, it's cool. It's decent.
Nice.
There you go.
Well, I'm glad
still on sale, buddies.
Enjoy. Yeah. Oh, cool. Good to know.
Yeah. Just help yourself. It's one of those ones where it's really hard to find. Like, if you search Far Cry on the Xbox One store, it doesn't come up.
No, it wouldn't.
It doesn't come up. But then if you search Far Cry Classic,
no one with any sense will buy that.
But if you put Far Space Cry, it doesn't come up. even though it's on
weird.
there.
Even though it's there. Just don't know.
But if you put Fast Space Cry Space Classic, then it's the only hit, buddies. It's right there for you for under £1.
It's a Google work.
So 600 meg download, and no, I think it was 2 gigs actually. But anyway, that's Far Cry. So the only other thing I've been playing this week is Pyre, Pyre, which is from Supergiant Games. They made Transistor,
Bastion.
And Hades is their other one on PC, which may arrive on consoles at some point. Anyway, Pyre. It's a story-based cartoon, storyboard RPG.
Text-based adventure.
Crossed with a basketball game.
Yeah.
There you go. And we bought it
I remember
ago.
playing this. Yeah.
Yes. And
I played a chunk of it.
An amount. And then we stopped playing it.
Yeah, I didn't care about it anymore after a while.
I just bounced off it. I was like, why am I playing this? Like, it's an interesting enough story, but essentially this is a sports game.
Yeah, I enjoyed the story more than the sport.
Yeah. Well, I didn't feel like I'd given this a fair crack of the whip. So I thought I'd go back. And I watched a no-clip documentary about the studio a little while ago, and that kind of encouraged me to maybe dip back in as well. So I started from scratch because
you're not going to remember anything.
No.
Yep. You get your power-ups and shit.
I'm now further than I was the first time round.
Really? Already? Jesus.
Yeah. I don't really know with this. Like, I don't know. It's
there was a whole thing of you could choose different paths as well, couldn't you?
Yeah, you can. You can with the story.
Yeah.
But the bread and butter here is this. You've got a pyre either end, which is like your sort of flaming hole, so to speak. And you've got a team of 3. You can collect other people along the way, but each time you go into the arena,
you have to pick your roster.
Team of 3. Yeah. And you've got an aura around you, which, if your aura is bigger than their aura, you can banish them to the shadow realm briefly.
Mine's always bigger.
They take a while. If you're holding the ball, then you have no aura.
And the shaft.
So you're susceptible to other people killing you with their aura. But you can pass the ball around. You can also jump briefly. You can also shoot. And also you can shoot your aura in a path as well. Those are the base mechanics. It takes place in a sort of semi-top-down view.
I was going to say, don't people have certain skills like double dash and things like that, or double jump things, isn't it?
Yeah, some of them have got extra bits and pieces. They've got different attributes. Some of them are fast, some of them are slow, some of them can jump further. But then you can also get trinkets and artifacts from this market stall that you go past quite regularly, and you can add those to your character as well as leveling them up, where they do have a level up tree as well. It's hard to say. I'm not particularly enjoying this, because it's very, very easy. Like I've played 4 or 5 rounds now of the trials. And on every single occasion, I think 3 of them I didn't concede a single point, and on all of the others, I maybe only conceded 1 before destroying them. And it feels like it's been made super easy because it's quite hard to control and keep track of. Yeah. Which isn't great. And as someone who plays sports games, I can't help but think this might have been a fairly sizable misstep on their part. I might be wrong. I'm going to stick with this. I hear it's not actually that long. I may well be halfway through it. And I'm really enjoying the story. The story is really compelling and it's well written and it's really charming, this thing. Super polished as you'd expect from these guys. But yeah, I mean, the fundamental mechanics of playing this sport, because it is like a sport, so far, no, for me, not really. Which is kind of why I stopped playing it. And all I can say, buddy, is I'm really trying to get some fun out of some of our old purchases recently. That's what I've been kind of trying to do as we wait for news on this next generation. Segue.
Yeah, it's definitely a time to dip the toe in previous games that you've missed, or like you say with Prey, felt like you could have got some enjoyment, but you weren't really going to get anything.
I'm annoyed.
Out of that.
Yeah. I mean, I tried really. I don't know. It's my sort of game.
Sounds like a good time to play Destiny, buddy, for you, because there's loads of content there.
Yeah, no, I think we're having a fundamental disagreement on what content is like.
Okay, yeah,
as a concept.
Okay.
But I don't know.
No, cool.
That's some games that we've been playing, and there's a few other things to discuss, buddy, because we've got a section, of course, that's called Other Shit.
It's other shit now.
Yeah.
What's about in other shit, buddy?
The big news is the PS5 reveal event. It was delayed from last week or the week before.
Something like that.
I can't remember. It was delayed. It was going to be a Thursday a week or two ago.
The reason it was delayed is it's all been sorted now, so it's fine. Now's a good time.
Black lives did matter to Sony, but this week they don't matter. So they've decided that everything's fine now. Everything's resolved. They no longer feel the need to take a step back because more important voices need to be heard.
Those voices can right now, according to Sony.
Those voices pipe down because we're launching a games console. That's Sony's message, alleged message. I like it. So anyway,
makes sense.
The PS5 reveal event. I don't really understand why it was cancelled, because I don't believe it has anything to do with anything other than these corporate entities pretending they care about causes because they feel that they have to, when actually they don't give a fuck at all. And a lot of them, and I'm not necessarily lumping Sony into this, a lot of them are fucking racist and bigoted and have a history of preying on the weak and the poor and doing absolutely
making
nothing
money out of
to
these
further the planet in any way, shape or form. So yeah, it's either way. Sony pulled apart. Now they're back. Here we go. So reveal event. The reveal event is tomorrow, and certain little bits and bobs have leaked over time about what that's going to perhaps look like. The general consensus is we won't get a price because Microsoft have announced that they will be having an event in July to properly announce their hardware.
Or something.
It did.
Which is a shame.
The game of who's going to blink first is difficult because you can't get people to pre-order this thing until it has a price. So someone's going to have to say what price their console is so that they can start selling it soon.
Mate,
we're running out of time. It's June. They're launching these in probably November.
More than likely November. End of November.
They want to start selling them.
Well, no, probably maybe even early.
Possibly earlier. Either way, apparently, probably, maybe you won't get a price for the PlayStation. There's a large rumour going around that you won't even see the fucking box itself, which I find astounding at this point. But again, because of the pre-order thing and how close we are. But anyway, apparently we're going to see lots of games, and that's exciting. And hopefully get some details about stuff. And are you excited, Ash? Are you going to be watching live tomorrow night at 9?
If I remember, yes. But more than likely, I'll forget. And I'll just watch it the next day on YouTube.
I thought it was interesting. They said they're going to be broadcasting this at 1080p and 30 frames. Which
I wonder why that is.
Well, yeah, I thought it was a bit weird.
That doesn't make any sense if they're showing gameplay.
It's a strange decision, isn't it?
I don't like that.
I think partly to do with the caps that YouTube has kind of installed in certain areas because of bandwidth problems that they've had with the lockdown.
Okay,
but I've been watching 4K content lately. Maybe they want everyone to have the same experience. Maybe stuff isn't running quite as well as it should be running, and that would be disguised if it's running 30p on the video rather than 30 frames on the video
more than
60. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've also said you should watch this using headphones because they've specifically worked on the audio to try and simulate some of the exciting 3D audio stuff that the PS5 is going to have as a feature. So that's kind of at odds to me with the 1080-30. But sure, we're only going to be showing it in 1080p, a console that we are specifically designing for 4K gaming. PS, use headphones because there's going to be incredible audio on our 1080p 30 frames video. Strange messages from Sony, in my opinion.
Why can't they just be clear
He's not happy.
about what shit is going on?
I don't know. I mean, the longer we've waited, and I kind of thought this even before the event was postponed, if it had just gone ahead as normal, it feels like they've waited such a long time to tell us anything that I'm starting to think they've got something quite amazing up their sleeves. I think there's something going on here. I think I hope this is true. I'm sure everyone agrees with me that they hope it's true as well. But I just wonder if you leave it this long to show anything. I feel like you've got to have something. You've got to have something a bit special at this stage.
I guess
you should have learned from the Microsoft charade with its gameplay with bunny ears, which wasn't gameplay. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. I'm always excited at the lead up to a new gen. And I need some questions answered because I'm wavering possibly
I don't know what to buy at the moment.
A PC at this point.
Okay. I didn't see that coming, but okay.
I just, it depends on the price of the consoles.
GPU. I'm all right with that, buddy.
Exactly.
Fuck it.
Yeah. I just figure, I need to know if my steering wheel is going to work with PS5.
Yep.
If it isn't, I need to buy a new wheel. That's 150 quid.
Minimum.
The PS5 is coming with only 825 gigs of storage. That's not going to do me for very long when games are over 100.
Well, yeah, like fucking Destiny, like Call of Duty, Red Dead Redemption 2, they're 120 something gigs, more than likely. And there's been a thing today saying that the next download for Call of Duty is going to be fucking massive.
Yeah, their season 4 content or whatever.
Yeah,
season 4. Fucking hell.
Yeah, mate, it's all about the seasons, mate. You gotta get them seasons
just to counter that.
What season are we in? We have seasons.
I think we're in season 5.
Fuck me.
If you're doing it yearly.
No, we'll just make it up. Each season's a different length, buddy.
Okay, 12 then. We're season 12.
Fucking season 12.
Yeah. The thing about game sizes, just to very quickly mention, because I've been watching a little bit of stuff of late, and one of those things that I've been watching is a very smug game engine designer dude called the Cherno, who's been running through like various technical shawaddy-waddy. Yeah. And he made the point, which is a good point, despite his smugness, that at the moment, because you can't very quickly grab the data that you need because of the bottlenecking on the current consoles and PCs to an extent as well. Games as they are at the moment, because they need to basically draw data from a hard disk, and they can't necessarily path and find that data quickly enough. Things have to be organized in a way that say there's 4 or 5 occasions when you might need that texture or that detail or whatever, you need to put them all in the locations where you're kind of at on the disc at that point. I'm not explaining this very well. Basically, because it's hard to quickly draw data off of discs in time to load it into the game world for users who are moving around and may sort of suddenly spin around and look at something. At the moment, the reason that games are so massive is because a lot of the content is duplicated multiple times. So you'll have textures and data that could be in like 7 or 8 places in that game install folder, so that if it's required, it's in all of those individual locations that can be quickly reached if necessary.
Yeah, so however, it's duplicates of the same file.
Absolutely. So file sizes of games, they could be double or triple the size that they actually need to be. And going forward, because of the speed of the new discs, that searching, it can do it quickly enough that if you spin around, it can pull anything off of that SSD quickly
from
enough
wherever it is.
On top of which, worth noting that the SSD, and I think I'm right in saying both of these new consoles, the storage is so fast that it can be used as RAM. So if the system wants to store more data in the RAM, then it can basically generate a partition on the hard drive to extend the size of the RAM, which is kind of exciting. But basically cool. what he was saying and what I'm saying worse is game file sizes could be getting smaller as developers start getting used to the idea that they don't need to litter the same texture in multiple places across an install.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yes.
But anyway, there we are. PS5 reveal event. You'll probably have seen that by the time you hear this, but we'll be back next week to talk all about that. And I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be cool, or bad, or at least something. At least something in these dark times.
Yeah, exactly.
Givens. It's not all good for Sony, though, of course, because this week the other big story is that they've been fined. I think it was 1.8 or 1.9 million pounds for breaching consumer rights regarding their refund policy on the PlayStation Store in Australia. I think the issue here, buddy, was they didn't really fucking have one. The official
an EU one or something.
Well, they were basically saying that you weren't entitled to a refund if you had started the download of a game.
Yeah.
So even if the game was faulty, you weren't entitled to, or you accidentally bought it or anything like that, then you couldn't get any sort of refund if you downloaded a single fucking byte of data. And that goes completely against Australia's consumer legislation. They have quite robust consumer rights, saying that you have a right to return anything within 14 days, and that goes for digital content exactly the same as if it was physical content. As such, Sony completely in breach of these consumer rights regulations and fined heavily. Sony said yes and sorry. That was basically what they said. They didn't find this in any way.
Good.
So Australia have always been pretty strong with this sort of thing. And I'm sure that Australian consumers would appreciate that far more if it wasn't for the sort of tax into that country, which creates a scenario where hardware and software is obscenely expensive in comparison
it's so
to
expensive over
other
there.
provinces.
It's insane.
But yeah, pretty bad.
I mean, we complain about our game prices, but whoa. There goes.
Yeah, you're talking equivalent $80, $90 for video games in Australia on some stores. All the more reason to have a decent refund policy. And Sony were in breach of that, admitted it, and are paying the fine and have changed their storefront. So
good.
There we are. The only other thing to mention in terms of people getting slaps on the wrist and possible funniness is the UK government has finally this week asked for corroborating evidence in their sort of loot box investigation, with the view and pressure being placed upon the government to brand loot boxes in video games as gambling in the UK.
That'd be nice.
And of course, if that happened, that would mean that FIFA would have to have an 18 certificate. And of course, if that happened, that would mean that loot boxes would be removed from FIFA, because EA wouldn't want to sell that thing with an 18 certificate on it. They'd lose a massive amount of sales. So
yeah, they would.
That's on the back burner at the moment, buddy. So we'll keep you posted on that one. Other than that, two pieces of news for Slightly Mad. Firstly, Project Cars 3, you mentioned last week, they revealed...
Yeah.
They had reveal footage and so on about 2 hours before we recorded last week's show. You caught me completely off guard.
Because I got my finger on the pulse, buddy.
You're all about it. They basically just sort of sicked up this footage to a selection of various YouTubers and publications of just randomly of an evening. It feels very Slightly Mad what they've done here. I'm glad they've retained this. I've watched quite a lot of footage and people talking about what they got. It was difficult for everyone because they were just sent B-roll, basically. Along with...
Like, here you go, here's the game.
Apparently they had like a giant joint Zoom call where Slightly Mad ran through lots of details of the video game, but it was difficult to corroborate them with footage and facts and so on. But either way... it's Project Cars 3. The headlines are that they're trying to make it more user-friendly and attract a more arcadey, amateurish audience. And there was a lot of backlash from the original trailer that was released because it looked very arcadey.
It didn't look good at all, did it?
Well, it just looked like Forza, basically.
Yeah. It looked good, but not in the good way that you want a sim racer to look.
It looked like Grid or something like that. And then there are lots of people saying, "Oh, it's being code mastered," and it's not a proper sim.
I watched like a 10-minute thing about Codemasters and their shenanigans over the past, how they fucked it with Operation Flashpoint back in the day, Colin McRae Rally, they fucked that into anything, and then Dirt, how that was a simulation of a rally and then it just went crazy, and then they tried to bring it back, but even the latest Dirt 2.0 is just not a lot of content, and then they're just rehashing a lot of, Dirt 1's content and stuff into it. It's just like, oh wow, Codemasters, you're amazing.
Yeah.
It did get me worried for this game.
I don't know. I don't really know what. Basically, like 2 days later, they obviously realised that they had a bit of a train wreck on their hands with. Obviously, like mega exciting for casual people who maybe don't have wheels. Like they were really singing the fact that they've been working really hard on how it plays on a controller, because that was a huge criticism of Project Cars 2, and so on and so forth. But completely alienating the sim audience, and the sim audience tends to be the more fervent audience. They tend to be the community. They tend to be the supporters. It's not a particularly good idea to alienate those people when you're about to launch a new video game. And so, they released more B-roll, more footage of essentially
everything
with the
assists off.
With the assists off. I have to say, they didn't do a great job there either, in my opinion. And I'm sure that it probably does play like if it's built on the Project Cars 2 engine, like Automobilista 2 is, then it will be silly, and that's cool.
We need to check that one out.
we do. But at the same time, what they uploaded was someone honing a fucking GT3 around Brazil, Interlagos, and the assists were off, but he was chucking the back out like he was drifting around the Formula. Like, if you're trying to say no, everyone, this is a sim,
this isn't,
and then you
sim.
upload like a Tokyo fucking drift video, like it seemed like a weird thing to do. It seemed slightly mad, buddy. So,
indeed.
We don't really know what this is. We'll have to wait until some people have played it and can talk about it, because it's hard to, from the footage, it's hard to tell how it's going to feel to play. My gut instinct is that it looks quite arcadey. Not necessarily saying that that's a bad thing, but certainly we have been leaning more and more towards simulations of late, and we're likely to be less interested if it's arcadey. However, it does look a lot better than Slightly Mad's other game, buddy, doesn't it?
Just on a quick little random thing, like, do you think it's because we're getting old? Because, like, with shooters, when you do play them, you like ones that are like, I shot him in the head, he's dead. So more simulator shooters, racing games, obviously. I was on about skateboarding games. I like more of a simulation on a skateboarder. I mean, is this an age thing, do you think? Or I don't know.
I don't know. It might be. It might be an age thing.
Or have we just had enough of playing arcadey games?
I think
they have their place. They're jolly good fun, though.
I think as we've got older, we've got a little bit more patient with mastering things. And then on top of that, there's a sense of satisfaction you get from something that's harder to master, something that's more simulator. That sense of realism means that when you get it right, it's far more rewarding. And I'm not especially competitive, but I do like a good challenge. And I just don't get the same joy out of an arcadey handling model. I played that Grid demo, and it didn't give me the sense of satisfaction that I get from a simi game like Assetto Corsa or Project Cars. That's what it is for me. And absolutely with shooters, it's more satisfying if it's more realistic. It just seems to be the case. It could well be an age thing. Very good chance that we've just become boring old cunts. We don't understand what fun is anymore. We can't enjoy anything in our lives unless they sort of closely mirror reality in a sort of we have no enthusiasm or imagination anymore because we're old, haggard husks of men at this point, rather than the young, bright things that we once were, with hopes and dreams and and that sort of thing. So,
keeping on the simulation road, let's talk about the Fast and Furious game. That,
very simmy.
Also
this one
had a fucking reveal trailer this week, and this was something that I was kind of like, oh, this could be quite interesting. This could be quite fun, being made by old Slightly Mad or whatever, and there could be some potential there. God, was I fucking wrong?
I was gonna say, this. What on earth is what the fuck is going on here?
God. So if anyone hasn't
this?
seen this, I don't know. It can't be Slightly Mad.
It's the B team.
It's some idiots. So if I'm guessing no one's seen this really. I don't even know how to explain it. How do you explain this game? Like, in a way that what's going on? So it's like, it's got GTA aspects of, there's like 3 cars you can switch to at any point, and you're chasing down a hovercraft or something trying to blow it up, and it oh my god.
You remember the original reveal trailers of the... the original reveal trailers of the crew were like 4 people in cars of varying types, driving across a beach and trying to destroy a truck, basically.
That also sounds like Forza Horizon, but without the destroying of a truck.
Yeah, I mean, this. If this was a mobile game, you'd say that's not a particularly attractive mobile game. The fact that this is coming out on current gen consoles is frankly amazing. I highly recommend you jump onto YouTube and have a look at a video of this thing, because it is horrible looking.
When I checked it had 17,000 dislikes.
It looks horrible. And then we get to the bit where they've got the Fast and the Furious license and have got voice acting from
they got the
various characters. Vin Diesel, I definitely heard Vin Diesel's voice delivering a line quite badly.
I think they're all there. The woman, the other guy is, I think, I don't know, the black guy that's in Too Fast, Too Furious. I think that's where he first comes in. Roman, I think that's the main character. Yeah, there's a few characters in there that I noticed their voices.
Yeah, but yeah, I've no idea. It looks really, really bad. I can't believe that they're going to release this. It does explain it a little bit now that we've seen the Project Cars 3 reveal. It suggests that there's a good chance that the main people of Slightly Mad Studios weren't making this game. Perhaps it was like a side project or something like that. Because we had no idea that they were making P-Cars 3. And yes, I would kind of understand a little bit what's going on there, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. It looks terrible.
Just impressive. That's what it is.
It's horrible, just impressive. This game. Proper wank. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it news-wise. The only other thing we've got is we had a message from Cosmic Dad in the old Discord during the week.
Sorry, I just want to say it's got 9,000 up, like 17,000 dislikes at the moment.
There you go.
It's not gone well.
It's all engagement, though, isn't it? You know.
Oh yeah, people watching it.
You don't lose any revenue off of dislikes. It's all engagement. It all counts.
Yeah, that's true. That's
ups
true.
And downs.
Yeah. So sorry, you were saying Cosmic Dad in the Discord.
Yeah, he asked us a little while ago.
Following up on the what was it? Catch the Pigeons theme tune, wasn't it? Yeah, that was it. Yes,
and we did guess Spider-Man. And then obviously last week he mentioned that he thought Spider-Man was quite disappointing despite its incredible traversal mechanics. So Cosmic Dad's back and he said, just listen to last week's show or to 251, sorry, he's 2 weeks behind. And yes, I was thinking of Spider-Man. Chasing those pigeons was possibly the hardest thing in the entire game. Madness. Also, and this is another point where he was talking about possibly taking the plunge on some VR kits. I think we said at the time that we thought that the 199 and 229 packages perhaps included the wands. And it turns out that they didn't. He was considering taking the plunge. He realised beforehand and then asked the community if it was worth having the VR without the wands. And we basically said, no, not really.
Not really.
So yeah, he said the VR kits in the sale did not include the wands, as far as I know. If I could have bought a VR starter or mega pack containing the wands, I would have snapped your arm off. So yeah, it's unfortunate that they weren't in there.
I can't remember how much I paid for my VR kit at all. But I remember I got my wands for 70 quid. I got them from Curry's Business, and I used the podcast as the business.
There you go.
It's a legitimate business. Yeah.
I got mine from a Croatian. Was it Croatian? I think
Alza or something.
Alza or something like that. I paid 286 all in. That's including the wands. And at the time, that was a very good price because they're like $350 over here, all in.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
but yeah, no, he messaged me earlier and he said that a single wand, £100.
Wow,
both wands like 170 quid. It's fucking crazy. I should sell mine on eBay right now.
Well, it could all change.
I'm just going to sell everything right now on eBay because people are going crazy for computer games right now. I love it.
Well, PlayStation certainly could wander out tomorrow evening and show off a brand new VR headset with a bespoke set of controllers for it, and all of a sudden, no one wants those ones anymore because they'd rather get the new controllers. So that market could dive bomb instantly.
You still can't get them anywhere. That's the problem. No one's fucking selling them. It's crazy.
It's mad.
Mental. Oh well. Hey ho, that's life.
Gibbon. But thanks for putting us straight, Cosmic Dad. Thanks once again for getting in touch. And
Gibbons.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone. I think that's it.
Thanks. Yeah. I'm out of here. Bye.
Got nothing else. Obviously, with the PS5 reveal tomorrow, we will have hopefully a very interesting show for you next week. Not that this one hasn't been, but
doubt it.
Yeah, we'll see. But either way, thanks so much. We're going to fuck off. Cheers for listening. We'll be back next week. Until then, I've been Alex. He has been Ash.
Goodbye.
Farewell. You've been listening to the JfG Podcast with Ash and me, Alex. You can find us at www.thejfgpodcast.co.uk, where you'll also find our Discord and Street Beat if you want to get involved with the show. Our Facebook is /the JfG Podcast, and our Twitter handle is @the JfG Podcast. We're on all those video streaming sites too, buddies, from TubeTube to twitch.tv /the JfG Podcast to mixer.com, aka beam.fucking-pro. We've got a PS4 community you can join. Just search the JfG Podcast on there. And we're also on Google Plus if that is how you choose to live your life. Thanks so much for listening, buddies. We'll catch you next time.